The digital ticker screen screamed in blood red as the greatest silver crash in human history began its merciless descent from the historic $121 peak. What was once a triumphant climb into triple-digit territory evaporated in a matter of hours, leaving a trail of shattered portfolios and scorched dreams in its wake. Investors who felt invincible just a day prior now found themselves humbled by the raw, unbridled power of a market in total liquidation. This was not merely a correction. It was a systemic shock that challenged the very foundations of the global precious metals community. The arrogance of the recent bull run was replaced instantly by the cold, hard silence of a market in freefall. Thousands of people watched in disbelief as their paper wealth vanished into a digital bonfire, sparking a level of panic that we haven't seen in our lifetimes. Our core message today is a vital one. The intrinsic value of your silver is entirely independent of the chaotic price currently flickering on your computer monitor. We are going to explore why your physical ounces remain the ultimate protector, regardless of the temporary carnage in the speculative markets. If you are feeling the weight of this crash or the sting of a diminished balance, you must realize that you are not navigating this storm alone. We must look beyond the immediate wreckage to understand the enduring strength of the most versatile metal on the planet. The following analysis is designed to bridge the gap between this catastrophic event and the timeless reality of silver's physical utility. Let us begin by dissecting the psychology of the crash and why the paper markets have finally broken. Price discovery in the modern era is a chaotic theater of human emotion, driven more by primitive fear and unbridled greed than by any fundamental economic truth. We are witnessing a period where traders overreact in both directions, pushing prices to unsustainable highs and irrational lows. The peak of $121 per ounce was an emotional milestone that signaled extreme euphoria, but the current pullback is equally shaped by irrational terror. Even if the market controversially revisits the $50 level as a temporary floor, we must view these figures as mere blips on a much longer historical timeline. Predicting the exact bottom of this historic nosedive is a fool's errand because the volatility has moved beyond the reach of traditional technical analysis. You should laugh in the face of any expert who claims to have seen the full extent of this weekend's carnage with absolute certainty. No one truly predicted the sheer magnitude of this crash, which stands as the most violent price correction in the history of the silver market. However, the fact that a digital number has changed does not mean that the metal in your safe has lost its physical properties. The silver in your hand is a tangible, heavy reality that remains unchanged even when the paper markets are being manipulated or liquidated. Successful stackers understand that decoupling the daily price from long-term value is the only way to maintain a clear perspective during a crisis. Speculation is a natural part of any bull market, but it should never be confused with the foundational worth of a strategic commodity. While the screen says one thing, the reality of global demand and industrial necessity tells a much more compelling story of resilience. We must learn to ignore the noise of the checkers players and focus on the larger strategic landscape of wealth preservation. This psychological fortitude allows you to navigate 30% daily volatility without succumbing to the urge to panic, sell your future. Understanding the difference between a price tag and a value proposition is what separates the seasoned veteran from the amateur speculator. As we move forward, we will transition from the madness of the markets to the inescapable reality of silver's industrial backbone. Silver serves as the indispensable industrial backbone of the modern world, functioning as a critical strategic commodity that simply cannot be replaced. Its unique physical properties, from its unmatched electrical conductivity to its powerful antibacterial nature, make it the lifeblood of our technological civilization. Currently, industrial demand accounts for a staggering 55% to 60% of all silver consumed globally, and that number continues to grow despite the current market turmoil. This massive industrial footprint creates a fundamental price floor that prevents the metal from ever becoming a worthless asset. There are over 10,000 distinct use cases for silver, ranging from the intricate circuitry in your smartphone to the vast arrays of photovoltaics powering the green energy revolution. Even if the burgeoning artificial intelligence bubble were to burst tomorrow, the metal's role in semiconductors and chip manufacturing remains secure. Silver is the quiet hero of the medical field, utilized in high-tech bandages and surgical equipment to prevent infection and save lives. It is also the essential component in water purification systems, ensuring that millions of people have access to clean, safe drinking water across the globe. In the automotive sector, the shift toward electric vehicles is consuming massive quantities of silver for sensors, power steering, and battery management systems. Every modern innovation, from 5G telecommunications to advanced aerospace engineering, relies on the physical presence of this indispensable metal. We are witnessing a persistent supply-demand deficit, where the mining industry is struggling to keep pace with the voracious appetite of the tech sector. While paper traders are selling their contracts in a frenzy, The industrial giants are still scouring the world for physical delivery to keep their assembly lines moving. Panic selling during a historic crash is a common emotional response, but it completely ignores the underlying scarcity of the physical material. The fundamental laws of supply and demand are still in effect, even if the current price doesn't yet reflect the looming shortages in the physical market. The experts at Summit Metals have seen these cycles before and understand that industrial demand provides a safety net that no paper currency can offer. They provide the professional oversight needed to navigate these waters when the Sunday night Asian Market Watch reveals unprecedented volatility. When you hold a silver coin, you aren't just holding a monetary token, you are holding a piece of essential technology. This industrial utility provides a layer of protection that ensures silver will be in demand as long as humanity continues to innovate and build. This realization marks the beginning of a larger shift in how we perceive the role of precious metals in a modern economy. We will now move from the industrial utility of the metal to the monumental legal shifts occurring in the realm of sound money. The global financial infrastructure is currently experiencing a seismic paradigm shift away from debt-based paper and toward the stability of commodity money. This movement is being catalyzed by bold legislative actions that seek to restore gold and silver to their rightful place as the ultimate measures of value. Florida has recently emerged as a primary leader in this movement, becoming the largest state to legalize silver and gold for all financial transactions. This landmark decision is a total game changer for individuals who are desperate to store their hard-earned wealth outside of a failing traditional banking system. Being able to use physical metal for daily commerce is a profound step away from a world dominated by centralized control and inflationary paper promises. It allows citizens to take full economic possession and bypass the systemic risks inherent in modern financial institutions. While the US dollar has shown some temporary and deceptive strength, we are actually witnessing a period of managed decline intended to reorganize the global order. Donald Trump is playing a high-stakes game of 4D chess, using economic tactics that far exceed the simplistic checker strategies of his predecessors. The reorganization of the national economy involves calculated risks and tactical maneuvers that the average investor might find confusing or even frightening. These moves are designed to handle massive systemic risks and a looming debt crisis that could otherwise bankrupt the entire nation. Holding physical ounces is a far more strategic move than relying on the long-term viability of a currency that is being systematically devalued. Silver has remained a constant for thousands of years, surviving the rise and fall of every empire and every failed paper experiment in human history. The current administration is navigating a landscape of extreme uncertainty, where the strength of the dollar is a tool for geopolitical leverage rather than a sign of internal health. By measuring your wealth in ounces instead of fluctuating dollars, you insulate yourself from the fallout of these massive economic shifts. Our friends at Summit Metals are closely watching these developments, providing the guidance necessary to stay ahead of the curve as more states follow Florida's lead. They understand that moving wealth out of the digital banking grid and into physical possession is the only way to ensure true financial sovereignty. As we watch the markets open in Asia every Sunday night, we see the beginning of a global reset that favors tangible assets over digital illusions. The trend towards sound money is no longer a fringe theory. It is becoming the legislative reality of the American landscape. Possessing silver provides a level of peace of mind that paper assets can never provide during a period of intense stagflation or quantitative easing. This realization leads us directly to the strategic philosophy required to maintain your composure in these turbulent times. The diamond fist philosophy is an essential strategic framework for anyone who intends to survive the coming debt crisis and the threat of global stagflation. It is a commitment to holding your core position with an unwavering grip, regardless of how many black swan events hit the market. You must draw a hard line between your core stack, which functions as your ultimate life insurance policy, and your liquid stack, which is reserved for tactical opportunities. This mental separation is your best defense against the 30% daily volatility that can cause even the most experienced investors to crumble. The Diamond Fist round was created specifically to remind us that our silver is a constant protector throughout the duration of our journey as stackers. It serves as a physical memento of our resolve to never let the noise of the paper markets dictate our long-term financial security. We must recognize that there are valid, understandable reasons for an individual to liquidate some of their holdings during a true personal emergency. If you have to sell your silver to keep your home or provide for your family, there is no shame in making that difficult choice. However, the goal of the Diamond Fist strategy is to ensure that you never sell your core position simply because you are afraid of a temporary price drop. Silver is a reliable anchor in a world of sinking paper currencies, and it will be there for you when the dollar finally reaches its inevitable conclusion. As we monitor the GDP numbers and the potential for renewed quantitative easing, it becomes clear that the economic road ahead will be fraught with peril. In such an environment, having a foundation of physical metal is the only way to maintain your purchasing power and your sanity. The volatility of the markets does not change the physical essence of what silver is, nor does it diminish its role as a premier store of value. Whether the price settles at $70, $80, or $150, your silver remains a constant and unchanging weight in your hand. Don't be discouraged by the radical price shifts or the gloom of the great silver crash, because these are merely the birth pains of a new economic era. You are holding a monetary asset that has stood the test of time for millennia, while paper promises are lucky to last a century. By maintaining a diamond fist resolve, you are making a conscious decision to opt out of the madness and into the security of tangible wealth. This commitment is the hallmark of a successful stacker who understands that the long game is the only game worth playing. Your silver core stack is the bridge that will carry you through the troubled times ahead and into a future of true financial independence. Let us now conclude our analysis and look toward the steps you can take to protect your family today. In final analysis, the Great Silver Crash of 2026 was a historic event that humbled the speculators, but ultimately reinforced the value of physical possession. Silver is much more than a ticker symbol on a screen. It is a vital industrial tool and a timeless monetary anchor for your family. The road ahead may be characterized by stagflation and debt crises, but your ounces of silver will remain a constant protector through it all. We must remain focused on the fundamentals of supply, demand, and the legislative shift toward commodity money. If you found this deep dive into the 2026 crash insightful, we invite you to join our growing community of stackers who value truth over hype. Please take a moment to rate, share, comment, and subscribe to the Bullion Ledger to ensure you never miss a critical market update. Stay disciplined with your core stack, keep a diamond fist on your assets, and remember that true wealth is measured in weight, not in paper. We will see you in the next analysis as we continue to track the reorganization of the global economy. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered financial or investment advice. Always do your own research and consult a financial professional before making investment decisions.